bright. Come join the fun, let's start the show. Let your inner persona glow. Whether you run, whether you fly, whether you swim or dream up high.
Hey, listen,
This is our
Atleposity is an amazing, awesome and cool streamer. They have last played software and game development over at their channel. If you haven't followed them, please visit and follow at https://www.twitch.tv/Luposity and say hi when you start a chat.
bright. Come join the fun, let's start the show. Let your inner persona glow. Whether you run, whether you fly, whether you swim or dream up high. This is our realm, our digital land. With furry pride we take a stand. We rise, we roar, we own the skies. Unleash the beast, no need for disguise. Furry and free, this is our fight. In this stream we shine so bright. Come join the fun, let's start the show. Let your inner persona glow.
City lights flicker in the jungle of steel. Creatures walk the night, blending dream and real. Foxes in the alleys, wolves on the street. We're dancing to the rhythm where the urban and wild meet. Fur and feathers, scales and claws. We move through the shadows without a pause. In the night's hum, we hear the call. Echoes in the wild, connecting us all. We are the echoes, we are the light. Running through the city, fading into night. In the wild streets, under glowing skies. We're creatures of the rhythm where the moonlight flies. We are the echoes, we are the dream. A pulse in the jungle flowing like a stream. Onyx by the rivers, eagles in flight. Neon signs glowing in the midnight light. Tigers by the fire, sipping slow. We're creatures in a world where the rivers still flow. Fur and feathers, scales and claws. We move through the shadows without a pause. In the night's hum, we hear the call. Echoes in the wild, connecting us all. We are the echoes, we are the light. Running through the city, fading into night. In the wild streets, under glowing skies. We're creatures of the rhythm where the moonlight flies. We are the echoes, we are the dream. A pulse in the jungle flowing like a stream. Pulse in the jungle flowing like a stream. Every beat we find our way. In this city, wild and gray. But in the pulse, we're free to roam. In this rhythm, we found our home. We are the echoes, we are the light. Running through the city, fading into night. In the wild streets, on the glowing skies. We're creatures of the rhythm where the moonlight flies. We are the echoes, we are the dream. A pulse in the jungle flowing like a stream. Echoes in the wild, whispers in the breeze. In a world where we roam with such ease. We are the echoes, we are the night. Creatures of the wild,
everyone. Hi, Lupo. Hi, Afro. How's it going today? Sorry I started so late. I'm not feeling 100%, so, just took a little extra while. Yeah, that's about it. Just took a little extra while. But I'm here now, and I think we're going to do some stuff. And we're going to start off also with some song requests, hopefully. Hugs for the cola. Thank you, Lupo. But yeah, one of the reasons I was late was because I asked Arctic to open up some VRMs I created for him and check them out and see if they work the way they're supposed to. Fortunately, only one of them did, and he was joking around that he's gonna have to put bits on the one dance so that it's not constantly triggered because of the avatar. So yeah, that I kind of feel proud of, though I don't exactly. It doesn't exactly cross my mind why, but that's just me. But we're gonna, I guess, start with getting some of this sorted out. So when Arctic is in the VRM version of Arctic, doesn't look all that great. Yeah, it is a cute ot. He is cute. Very cute. Oh, he does have the tongue out. Okay. Do you just use VRMs or use VSFs too? So this avatar is a VRM. It wasn't intentionally set to be just a VRM, but I haven't taken it back into Unity to export it as a VSF. Especially since, you have to make sure that you have an older version. Well, you have to have the version of basically they used to use for VRC for it, because the VSF creator doesn't seem to want to upgrade it at all. They don't seem interested in that format at all anymore. Yeah. But Blender lets me create a VRM, so I consider it. There's a version of Poi that I use that works for VSF. Yeah, any version of Poiami works for VSFs as far as I know. But you have to just do it. See, I use 2022 for my VRC avatars, and before that, yes, I'd used 2019. Truthfully, the VSF, the latest you can go up to is like a 2020 version of it, but it's just an extra version of Unity they install. In fact, I had to just install a new version of Unity this morning because I was playing around with using specifically avatars. Avatar FBX files to create custom avatars instead of using something like Nana Luna's version. Which, truthfully, $8 Canadian, well, $9 Canadian. Nano Luna is a much better option because my time is more valuable than the time it would take to make a .avatar file. But when it comes to this bean, none of his stuff worked when I exported it. I'm not quite sure why. Now, one thing I did notice is it didn't have the jaw set up. Yeah, there's a plugin for VRMs. You can both import and export VRMs. And I've never done it before, but you can also create MTune textures. Mm. Send? Sure. For a long time, I've been trying to build slowly towards having a one source of um, one source of authority for avatars. And obviously, the choice for that is Blender. Well, not obviously, but I feel like. But at the same time, I've never done Nimtoon material, so let's turn that off for now. But that's you now, Lupo. So you have that. Okay. So to export this material to VRM, have them turn Flippy. Connect surface to a principled BSF is one of the options I can do here. Connect the surface. Oh. Do I have to... That what I'm looking for? There's surface? No, there isn't. Okay. Hi, Vibey. Hmm. Hi, Wolf. Did you have a good nap? You died? Not good. That's not good. Hey, the surface is already set to that, so what the hell? Oh, then set metallic. What does that do? Do. We do not want Arctic to look metallic, believe me. Oh, that's what's wrong. Arctic had 50% roughness, so he looked a lot more shiny than he should, or a lot more shiny than he should. Hee hee. Hmm. Hmm. I don't know why this didn't work before. Let's save an incremental. And we'll export a VRM, which will take a couple minutes. So while we do that, oh wait, export a VRM. While we do this, how are you guys all doing? How are things? Are you doing okay? Do you have any song requests for me today? Hey, Rapid. I hope your day of meetings were okay. How are we doing on? Oh, good. It's finished. I didn't even realize it. It was all right. The weekend now. That's much better. Yeah, usually weekends are much better. All right. I need File Explorer because I need to pull up VZ Face to test this. Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's kind of plain. Oh, I clicked on the wrong one. I just have the half jacket, which Arta keeps poking me about, and the shirt on this thing, so I'm not too sure if I will or not. Okay, this looks better. Now the question is, will it pick up anything? And will it talk? It won't talk. Why won't it talk? Ah. Or blink. It won't talk or blink. It also won't move the eyes. Alright. I have not seen the wild robot, so I don't know what they look like. Okay, but otherwise, yeah, looks all good. And his hair doesn't look like it's shiny anymore, which is good. Just the face that's not working. Hmm. Does that do it all? No, that doesn't do it at all. Should be talking, but it shouldn't even matter. It should be picking up stuff from my from my. There we go. Okay. So tracking points. Okay, so BC Face is picking up me talking. The avatar that isn't. And I don't know why. Okay. I never thought of that before. Hmm. I mean, this has to be the first. Rather than arms. Is that why I can't do it? Send me DMs of the pictures. Oh, they are pretty cute, pretty toony. All right. probably the most featured otter in a feature film. Well, that's nice. That's really cool. You know, really awesome. Uh, hmm. Let me say that differently. Can't recall a movie that featured otters so prominently. Fair? That's fair. I'm sorry. I've just been. So the biggest problem I've had with Arctic's avatars is actually with the two otters. Trying to get them to properly blend shape. They should. Everything's set up correctly. But his D otter isn't showing anything. Well, the bunny is another problem. The bunny doesn't seem well set up for BRM, but I've got it mostly working. It's actually just fixing some small things. Wait. Well, hopeful isn't exactly the word I'd use for it. It's hmm. There are still some things, like I said, big tweaks to be made. Oh my god, Blender, what the actual fuck? Hmm. Is survey bot. Like, hmm. Yeah, well, I wouldn't exactly say it's easy to do, but come on, Blender, don't do this to me. Is it because I left BC face open? Probably. Hates when I leave anything open. Seriously? Okay. Are you actually going to let me click on anything? Thank you. See. Okay. See, that does work. Did you get me killed, you whore? Hi, Squishy. Well, they. I feel like saying I have some um I've had some executive dysfunction. I just haven't been feeling well. But we're on stream, and now I'm getting mad at Blender because Blender's being a pain. But overall, I'm okay.
Listen, at Squishy_Pawpads is an amazing, awesome and cool streamer. They had last played Hollow Knight over at their channel. If you haven't followed them, please visit and follow at https://www.twitch.tv/squishy_pawpads and say hi from the Soda Shack.
But yeah, I'm starting to feel okay. And also, I don't know if I like that assessment rapid. Thank you. And just don't under. Maybe that's what I need to turn on. Just one check mark. You can't see me face palming, but I'm face palming because I clicked one check mark, and suddenly Blender's like, "Hey, just wait a minute. I need to do something that means I'm not responding." Hmm. The only banana I don't have. Oh no! So I saw something interesting when I was in Florida. This reminds me of it. Uh, so you know Fanta. I happened to be at Discovery Cove in Florida a couple years ago. I saw that Fanta has a banana flavor. Uh, they had banana flavored slushies at Discovery Cove. Yeah, banana Fanta. I never tried it. The irony is, Squishy, me and Arctic spent a day there. the day before we didn't do anything. I had to actually almost sit on Arctic not to do anything for a day because he was like always go, 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 go. And the day after that day we could have actually gone to NASA like you had when you visited down there. You know what? Ah, please don't come up on the main page. That's coming up on the main page. Okay. Ay, ay, ay. Next. Yeah, I really wish I had. But we didn't have a car. Oh, I need to make that again. You're wondering what I'm talking about? Beth, this looks amazing, doesn't it? Yeah, here we are. I took this picture at Discovery Cove in Florida to show that it does actually exist. So there you go, Afro. This exists. So you're welcome. That was loud. Hmm. But anyways, yeah. Banana Fanta does exist. So the next picture right beside it is a picture of an otter. The wholesome sun is hilarious. Yeah. Otter. 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 Probably the best picture that I took of an otter while in Florida. Yeah. Also took a lot of pictures of burbs. And then there's the staff walking the flamingos. And of course, I just came across the picture I took way back in 2022 of Raja trying to drink from or lick my coffee cup. It's like he really needs that coffee. But anyways, I'm just being distracted. Yeah, I know. I know I'm distracted a lot. It's who I am. I used to be a lot more laser focused back in the day, but not anymore. After all, I used to help run a convention. Can't exactly do that if you're not focused enough. So if that's all there, there's nothing else for me to click on here. Seriously, do you think that might have been it? PC face. Let's start you up. So, if I'm reading this right, Russ have a video. Actually, I think that's the version. I was not distracted for half an hour. The wrong version. Here we go.
went through all that work to give Cuddles a clue, and he's like, had to make a mess.
What is going on there? Why are you scooting? Walk? Dance? Run?
You don't even know my name. One second, I'll be right back.
I would not be surprised if you could hear Arctic on my mic. So if you do hear someone in the background, yes, it's Arctic. This is the thing I've mentioned to Arctic multiple times. There's only so much you can do.
Who's been knocking on the door?
Huh?
Who's been knocking on the door?
Oh. Just a minute, chat. Sorry, chat. Yeah, that was a delivery. That's probably from my neighbor downstairs knocking very loudly for a while. Because he does that. Alright. It looks like this has been exported. Oh, that does remind me, chat. So instead of having just the hot beans for 5 subs or more, I now have the Bean Boozled jelly beans. I think they're the same ones that Nachos has, the different flavors. Yeah. Oh. Alright, let's see if this works.
Well, they have to move it, and we're not going to disrupt anybody else. Just a reminder, chat. Birthday subathon that starts tomorrow. Anything that has been given this week, going
shit. Still not working. Hmm. This is getting a little bit annoying. Actually, okay. It's getting a lot because this works as an avatar, but it doesn't speak. And it doesn't look like it's it's shiny anymore, which is good. Again, I think I said that last time. My God, Blender, stop being such a bratty app.
You know that yeah,
Saturday night. I thought I had this problem resolved. I guess I don't.
if you want to
Ay, ay, ay. You know, I'm just glad I haven't opened up the package yet for the Bean Boozled because I probably want to try to snack on it, and I don't want to do that. I really don't. Let's pick a random one. I can actually hear the fan of my video card going. Hmm. What are you even doing, Blender, that's causing you to do this? Okay, looking at the face tracking for the Deotter, there is nothing in there that says I have not done what I needed to do. Heck, the blend shapes are there. I wish I could make this more interesting. But I'm waiting for Blender to be Blender. Okay, what happens if we save as? We'll start with 4 for this version. I feel like I might need more memory on this computer. I'm gonna keep doing this. If you ask why, I am... Oh, nice! Nice. Apparently Blender is currently taking up 21 gigabytes of my 32 gigabytes of RAM. Not a lot left over for a lot of other things. I'm sure it needs more. I'm sure it's going to the swap file. After all, apparently I have 86 gigabytes in the swap file. Nice. Have you not allowed me to click save yet? Okay, there you go. We're going to quit this. Let it clear all the memory out. Oh, hey, it finally unloaded. How are we doing here for the RAM and stuff? Blender says it's still open. And there it goes. Now it's closed. And let the in use drop down as well. Alright, things should be out, but I'm also looking at something else. And let's see here.
the yellow, Captain the yellow, Captain the yellow. You know how long it
What just happened? All right. I guess I just calculated out. I think I need to start a goal for about $300 to $400 Canadian, so I can buy enough RAM to actually run Blender without it crashing, almost crashing my computer. The reason I say that is 2 sticks of RAM is of 32 gig RAM is currently $134.99 plus tax, and the amount of RAM that was being taken up by Blender when I had Arctic's file open was roughly 100 gigabytes. So if I get two sets of 64 gigabytes of RAM, I should have enough to cover the Blender file. But still, that's a lot, and that's a lot of RAM. Yeah, see, even Cheek Puff works. I don't understand.
if I'm ready for you to not forgive me.
I can't just.
Chat.
I've already assigned them all.
Original model.
Okay, that should work. And hi, Raja.
Very, simply event.
if this works. We'll save incremental. Oh. I see Arctic. I pull over to Arctic's channel for a second. I see he's using a winter paw model I made for him. I didn't think he would actually enable it today.
DRC model with winter paw. The updated colors. That's the really good picture. The and trade them around a little.
Okay, let's open up VC Face here.
I did in years. Okay, I did. Yeah,
Oh boy. No, oh come on. This model, it needs to work. I don't understand why it doesn't work. Ah. Hmm. Why? Why is it doing this? Why does it not work? Well, there's only so much I can poke at something before I go and say, hey. I can't believe I'm doing this while on stream. Sorry, chat.
Fix is broken. Fix is where the bottom fix. Good. Labeled as original. Surprise. That thing's behind it.
How can you go? My way to go. Sorry that I'm singing along, chat. Where's that? Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't realize. Hmm. Yeah, that should do it. Should take care of most of it. So the biggest problem is that the rabbit ears.
I heard they kicked the foot. You want to take sanity meds first?
Hmm. There we go. Okay. Probably shouldn't have 3 colliders for that, but I think they'll make it better. Raja, why are you walking right in front of me? Raja kitten. Go have a nap. You got a couple hours to dinner. So, export this as a VRM. Hi, Raja. Why are you crying? Hmm? Is it being boozled in your way? You couldn't lay down? Okay. There you go. Now you're happy boy, huh? Now you're happy boy? Hmm. Boy. Raja, I love you, kitten, but why? Why? Why are you like this? For some reason the Darby otter won't work. Okay. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. It doesn't go through the body anymore. Okay. That's what I wanted. Even if they are pulled back a little bit more, that's okay. I can live with that. Now, oh, Arctic must have something in app his settings because BC Face doesn't allow it to go that far. At least with the body or the tracking like it is. But let's do this. Edit model.
Still only females from.
Well, I hate to do this. I hate to do this.
I'm pretty sure it's not done. Or right at the screen, right before you. Pretty sure it's not done. Oh, 27.
Okay. Chat, I'm sorry about this. I'm gonna load up one of Arctic's avatars in BC Face. See if it works the way it should be. Okay, it's almost there. Just a moment. Loading, loading, loading. And soon we have a bun. Or should have a bun. Here you go. Okay, it seems to work okay. Okay. I can't tell if that's good or bad. Just a second. Big camera. It shouldn't go that far. But the eye is okay. Okay. So there's a slight problem there still. I don't know what's causing it. Actually, here, let me go graph here. Okay, let's get me back to my avatar.
So we are using in-game money. So you can
But I'm glad the ears work better.
So yeah, otherwise it's just -75. So big numbers make Gringo burn.
I wonder if this case, if this single check mark is all that's needed.
I appreciate it. I'm just worried that you can't, like you're not hearing me.
Unfortunately, the only way to really test it is to load it up in Vignon. And of course, the only copy of that is what's running my avatar. Okay, we're just waiting for the rabbit to respond.
You have weird blurbs. You have weird blurbs. I don't know, Jar Jar sausage. Tell me.
Yes, it is. We're waiting for Blender to save it. Yeah, but once you take the clothes off of him, he's very feminine. Oh, I forgot one other thing that I gotta double check on it. Shoot. Yeah. Oh my god, Blender, don't do this. I really feel like the problem I gotta do here is throw money at this. You don't know about the pure bright orange hoodie though, black with an orange stripe. Would look awesome though. Well, I've just done the basic colors. So, well, okay, Arctic's colors for most of his clothing. I haven't added that much to it, but really the idea is to get everything, you know, dialed in before doing anything else. That's why I asked Arctic to look at it this afternoon, which is the reason why he was a little bit late, is because he was looking at things and providing feedback about how he sees things. One thing we've noticed is that in uh, Binyan, the mouth can open up a lot wider than it should be able to. At least with this model, because if I open it in VZ face, I can only open it so far. And I can open it my mouth twice as wide in the avatar when I've loaded into Binyan. Mm-hmm. But the thing I forgot to look at is the hoodie. I can't believe I looked at this and I feel like I need to upgrade my RAM from 100 or 32 gigs to 128 gigs to be able to run these Blender files. And the reason I say that is because I have looked at Task Manager and it says Blender's using like 21 gigs and there's 86 gigs in my swap files. And I can only assume that Blender is the main cause of that. Especially since I drop out. One thing to remember is that you can't just throw RAM. There is between CPU cores and RAM. You really should have so many gigs per core. Here's the thing though, my CPU is not overburdened right now. If I pull up the task manager or pull up the resource viewer, it's not overly busy. Yeah, right now it. This is what I'm looking at. If I remember correctly, I have 8 cores. Oh, I have 10 cores. You would ideally have. No, it doesn't. Even so, if you look at it, there is so much in the swap file right now, and that's not good either. All right, can I? Uh-huh. This is one thing I hate about Blender lately. Something I want to scream about, but know that's not worthwhile doing. Uh, so the RAM that came with this machine originally is 3200 mega. What do they call it now? Mega transfers per second, or whatever the fuck they want to call it. 3200 megahertz. It's actually stepped down right now because I didn't have 30. I didn't have another 16 gigs to get up to 32 because it only came with 16. So I pulled it from my old machine, which uses 2400 megabits per second or mega transfers per second or whatever the fuck it is. So a little bit of yeah, they are mismatched. So it all runs at 2400, and that's what it is. I would love to get them all up to the same speed, but um, it's also 4 slots. So anything I get, I much prefer fill all 4 slots rather than or 2 slots. Either fill 2 slots or 4 slots. DDR4, yeah. And my computers are in the. It's not my computer. Fuck. My CPU is an Intel 13th gen. Look. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, no, I still can't click on it. Mm.
It's not just me.
Okay. Oh my. Mm. Ah, okay. Deep breath in, deep breath out.
bitch. Come on. Oh.
What? Raja, come on. Go lay in your spot. Go lay in your spot. Don't worry, Raja. In a few minutes, I'll go get your food out. I'll have to leave chat for that. So you better think chat for that. Anytime. Well, I guess while we wait for that, I can load up the bunny avatar and see if my one change worked. Oh, I didn't save it. Okay. So, what was that? I heard that. What was that? What? What? Rapid? What did you do? Oh my god, Rapid. Thank you so very much. Oh my god. Hmm. Rapid, you didn't need to do that. Thank you so very much. Oh my god. Oh. I don't even know how to respond. I meow. 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 Thank you so very much, Rapid. I didn't expect that. That no, that was more than I expected. Way more. Thank you so very much. I yeah. Be careful what you say around the bunny. I I but you gotta make sure you take care of yourself. I see how much love and stuff you give to other people, gifts to other people, and hope you take care of yourself. My God. Ah. Wait, don't want to do that. When I click that, there we go. Thank you so very much. Oh my God, Rabbit. Like I said, it will help a lot. Thank you. Oh. The only funny thing I find is the page it took me to, it shows as RGB. I'm not big on RGB, but the computer is full of RGB. I got it that way. So you're contributing to the light pollution in my office. Not a bad thing. Well, I really do appreciate that. You know, we can double check Arctic's computer and ask him what type of RAM he has, because his computer is slightly older than mine. If he has 2400 RAM, we could maybe get him another 16 gigs too, which will help him. But I don't know. I really don't. Of course, he'll probably say also that, it's used RAM. And still be appreciative. But yeah. I don't know. Thank you so very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't know. I am unsure at this point. I actually don't know the specs of his current computer. I know he bought it from Digital Extremes. I know he bought it back in 2019, I think, or 2022, sometime around then. He was still living in the States at the time. And maybe it was 2019. Because he needed a better computer. Because the old computer he had wouldn't even play somewhat simple games, from what I remember. And it definitely wouldn't play the one game we wanted to play together. At the time, or at least in tandem, which was City Skylines. His old computer couldn't even play City Skylines. So that's one of the reasons I remember that. They used to be big in just doing City Skylines. Not City Skylines 2, really. I heard that's very CPU intensive, and I'm not quite sure I want. Are we back? We are back. Okay. Let's try turning that on. Okay, so I know the cropped hoodie has what do you call it on it? Strings on it. And I don't know if it was those strings or the other strings that were causing issues with the model as well. However, at the same time, Raja, why are you licking my house coat? Hi. Hi. At the same time, I swear I saved. .9. Oh, okay, that's what I did. Okay, let's try the 2.9 bunny. And I get notified that I can download it. So at least I can be doing something productive while waiting. There we are. Do you ever look up the author and talk to them about, or the community about it? About the Avatar? I forget. I forget the reason why for that. Oh. No, I don't remember if I ever did. Okay. Put a little thing there. Object visibility. That's it. Okay. Okay. There's definitely some movements that need to be added to the, or movements taken away from this, I should say. Um, bring back the hoodie and see if it has those string issues. Yeah. Okay. So both clothing items have that issue. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, Rapid, I think you're right. I definitely need something on the front of this shirt or this sweater or this hoodie. Mean or a pattern? Yeah. I've been really meaning to come up with something truthfully. Even just like kind of meme like. Uh yeah. Uh because I could probably also sell it in a store at a later point. Yeah, I know what you mean. Okay, I have to quickly run into the kitchen. Not that far. And I have to feed. Or not feed. I have to get Raja's food out so I can feed him in an hour. Because Raja does not like cold food. I don't blame him. So we're gonna throw on a curse break. It has been a couple hours, so maybe go take a break, grab a drink, whatever. Well, that's cursed enough. And that one had not come up before. uh, Hooray for green screening too, eh? You'll get your food in an hour, Raja. Am I allowed to work now, Raja? Blender's come back to me. Okay. You link to it, didn't mean it to be a surprise. How Throne works. Yeah, no worries. Actually, I think I closed Discord there, so. Yeah, thank you. Like I said, Rocket, I hope you are definitely taking care of yourself because I've seen how generous you can be with the beans on. It's just, it's a lot. Yeah, yeah, I don't even know what to say. Just thank you. Well, you should save up some of that disposable income just in case. Especially with how things have been going lately. I hate to say it, but in the United States, um, might be more important over. Nothing, anything specific, just like in general. Ever seen the movie? Ever seen the movie Brewster's Millions? No, I don't think I have. Raja, you can't sit in front of the keyboard. I'm sorry, kitten. I'm sorry. Yeah. Very interesting movie. You'll quickly summarize. Okay. A man's father dies and leaves him his entire company as inheritance. Only he has to spend $1 million within 30 days. He can keep nothing. That does sound familiar, though. You have to spend $1 million. You can't buy real estate, cars. Has to spend it every dime and keep nothing. Oh, okay. Yes. I've lived with nothing or next to nothing for a very long time. Now make 6 figures. Yeah, that's why I say you should save a little bit for yourself, or at least I hope you are. Because beyond just living within your income, there can be a point where you might have to go backwards. Having a little bit of an nest egg is good. I'll give you an example of this. So for years, I made good money, and then I was laid off, and I had a 6-year stint of not being able to find any jobs. I had money saved up, which helped, but it wasn't obviously a perfect situation. So it's always good to have at least a little bit of a nest egg just in case, especially you know. And I was the same way, and truthfully, feel the same way now as having lived with nothing or next to nothing for a while now, because things are just. And my job isn't great. I do like it, but I don't think I could do anything more than that right now. I never wanted to get into management. I want to focus on myself as the whole thing with leukemia and stuff like that. So kind of where unfortunately I am. I put myself in the position. I totally understand that, but I see someone else, and I'm like, make sure you save up for a rainy day. Like I did when I wanted. MacBook, the latest iPhone, AOD, PS5. Arguably, I'm missing a gaming PC, but it is a complex. Like XT4, ran an entire house to myself all the time. Both living my best life and wasting it all. No, that's fair. If you can do all of that, but there's a small like $200 to $400 payment that you can just put away off to the side, so that you can, enjoy it later in life. That'd be good too. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to tell you how to do things. It's just I've been in that high and then I've had to go low. And I've made the decision not to try to go high again. And as you know, it's hard. But having that low cushion helps. That's all I'm trying to say. The rainy day fund. Especially for when you want that big purchase. Hmm. Yeah, where are these? Where are these bones? Make a strong case. Make a very strong case. Savings and by all this money, I'm still in debt. But smarter would be paying that down, pay less in interest, and investing the rest. So it was making me more money. I mean, it's hard. It's hard. It is hard, but might I suggest on your debts, maybe just pay an extra $20 a payment, or whatever is a small amount for you, and that'll pay it down quicker and help you with the interest.
One point.
Like, let's be real, who the hell is smart with money and spending on Twitch? I mean, that's fair. I mean, fair. Yeah, I've seen. Yeah, I've seen some from the other side. I've seen some streamers start to go at it another way because, truthfully, trying to make enough from Twitch is getting harder and harder too. Because they take roughly 50% of any subscription for themselves, and then you get a percentage of the rest of it. Well, roughly 50%, I should say, because they have their fees and admin fees and blah, blah, blah. And then they got your other fees that they charge on top of that on the profit, as it were. And then there's the fees of the payment processor that you're going to pay too as a streamer for this money that you've been given. Yeah, Twitch. I would say that Twitch isn't profitable. They are not getting rich from it. However, there are very few, like the top 1%, that they're making enough. They're definitely making enough per month for it to be worthwhile. But there are also the people that have enough people coming in for that to be worthwhile. Maybe? I don't know. The better option would be to go to AV1. But then again, good luck in that because they don't seem to want to do that, though YouTube seems to be pretty big on that. Yeah, well, yeah, well, yeah, we need the cards with it. Um, Truthfully, when I last went to get a video card, I had actually looked at getting a Battle Mage card from Intel that had the AV1 on it. Or sorry, not Battle Mage. What was the first generation? It was A. Archmage? Maybe? Whatever the first model was. But yeah, the Battle Mage also looks good. The problem I have is I like VR. And yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've looked at that one too. Uh, but they aren't good with their VR setup yet. They're still having troubles getting the drivers to work well for it, from what I understand. And that's the biggest drawback for me. Because for around that price point, or actually no, it was $329 Canadian. They had a 24 gigabyte VRAM card. I'm like, that is worthwhile.
So not only pick, but you're bad at it.
It's a sad day. Arby's got rid of the smokehouse brisket. You know, I never actually had the brisket. Since I was a kid, Arby's was always the roast beef and cheddar on the cheese bun. I never even had their meat mountain. Actually, now you have me curious. Oh, oh wow. Um, they should have did that as a joke, and so maybe it took them up on it. They had to pull it back. Yeah. Postman has a limited time promotion, but it became even more limited because of the ban. So, like I said, I was curious. I typed in Uber Eats into a browser window while waiting for Blender here, and it took me to DoorDash. I had to go through that process again. Let's see, what do they actually have now? A chicken cheddar ranch sandwich. Okay. Rather, other than adding some chicken related things, like a crispy chicken meal, a chicken strips, bacon Swiss, buffalo chicken, I don't think they've gone much Oh, no, wait. 3 cheese and bacon. I don't remember that. They still have the sandwiches, which I remember from like the last time and actually saw one. The Reuben, thinly sliced smoked meat with melted cheese and tangy sauerkraut and Thousand Islands. Yeah, my menu doesn't, for an Arby's, doesn't have brisket on it or the meat mountain. See, I don't remember it being there, so that's, but that's fair. Maybe it was more of a U.S. thing than it is here. Okay, so that's pull string. That's a pull string. That's, that was the wrong bone to click on. That is also the wrong bone to click on. And that's pull string. Okay. Yeah, I clearly see that. We have more barbecue here in the U.S. Yeah, for the most part, yeah, I would agree with you. There's a couple things that there's at least one thing that's a barbecue here. And I mentioned it when I was talking about the Reuben sandwich. Montreal smoked meat is kind of a big thing. At least for some people. Before Arctic came here, he had never had it before, so you know, that was kind of a big thing. But we don't have like a style of barbecue beyond just like the one thing. That's fair. So the one thing that me and Arctic have now is Arctic's smoker. The only problem is we need to get to the point where we can put it safely in a space by our apartment, which means that we gotta get chains, we gotta get locks. Yeah, and we gotta get a cover for it. But I'm still excited to eventually try some smoked meat from Arctic and cheese. He's done a cheese before. Like an entire culture, not just something you get at a restaurant. That's fair. That's fair too. Now, I will say here that instead, there for some Canadians at the very least, that'd be like poutine for us. There is more than just your simple fries, your thin mushroom gravy, and cheese curds. There's people have done so many things with it that it doesn't even look like the original poutine anymore. And there are arguments about stuff like that. And the most hilarious thing I've ever heard about all of it is Arctic saying this is the most American food that was never made in Canada or made in the U.S. or that didn't come out of the U.S. I think that's exactly how he worded it. So I can kind of get the culture thing, because yeah, it can be a big thing. I think ears is what I want. Stiffness, gravity power. Okay. 0.06. Drag force, I think it was 0.0 or 0.44 maybe? Oh, 40. Okay. I would love to put a collider on this, but I know that they'll go flying all over the place if I did. And now we wait for Blender to say, hey. Here's the thing. When I first heard of poutine, I literally imagined these steak fries, crispy thrust fried fries with a serious crunch, hit with some salt, then this rich and thick gravy with roast beef trimmings and fat coating in it, then drizzled with fresh cheese curds. Well, the original poutine was made with a thin mushroom gravy. Truthfully, that's the traditional one with the cheese curds. And what you do is you take like shoestring fries. Yes, they're crispy. They have to be crispy, but and it's hard to get shoestring fries to that just perfect consistency. Then you put the cheese curds on top. Then you put the gravy on top of that, because the gravy will then melt slowly, usually melt the cheese curds, and the cheese curds have to be squeaky cheese curds. And Arctic's and mine favorite fast food restaurant, which is Harvey's, not Hardee's, but Harvey's, Havey apostrophe S, which is a fast food chain, sells it as a meal. Now, right now, they also have a variation of it called rings. So it's half fries, half onion rings. They've made that into a poutine. Truthfully, just the fries, poutine, kind of blah. But onion rings with cheese curds and gravy, yeah. Yeah, one of the mechanics of it, though, was that you need a real serious French fry that has a real crunch to it, or it's going to be a very undesirable texture. No, well, shoestring fries do work. Yep. Yeah. Well, that's why it's also a thin mushroom gravy to do it. The thick gravy, which is something you can get. You can get poutines with thick gravies, but that's not big. Like that's not that requires a different type of fry, really, or should. But we have a place up here called a poutineery. Here's their menu. So they now have a butter chicken one with a butter chicken sauce. They have a country chicken one with a chicken, double smoked bacon, sauteed mushrooms, caramelized onions, and green peas, and a gravy. Chicken Inferno, you know. Heck, they got one here that has pierogies in it. So they deep fry pierogies and they put double smoked bacon and sour cream on it too. Or they do one with chorizo in it. There's the chili cheesesteak version, which is the flat iron steak, sauteed mushrooms, caramelized onions, and cheese sauce instead of gravy. Like, yeah. The Junkyard, which is flat iron steak. 40 Creek, which is, as far as I know, a Canadian brewery. Barbecue sauce, sauteed mushrooms, and caramelized onions. So, like, it's changed a lot. Yeah. These guys also have sides, though. I really want to try the onion rings as an actual poutine from them. They don't have it as one, but yeah. Okay, I'm going to save as three 3.0. We're going to export this and see if it works. But yeah, things are just a little bit different here in some stuff. We have a Canadian competitor to, Subway, called Mr. Sub. Truthfully, their subs are better than Mr. Sub. So, wonder what these tariffs will do to exchange rates if we ever implement them. I was thinking about that because the rand was in CAD, and I haven't even checked the exchange rate in a while. Well, currently, $1 is apparently $1.44 at market rate. So you're probably looking at about 5 cents off of that, though, for all the bullshit that the banks pull to get their little piece of it. So I've always figured, if I'm getting USD and I'm converting into Canadian, I take 5 cents off to give me a better estimate of how much it costs I will get. And if I'm buying something in US dollars, I add on 5 cents to that to make sure that, it's enough to cover it. Which unfortunately, $1.44 is pretty bad as a Canadian going to the US. Well, and Rapid, that's exactly where it is now. There was a I don't know. I've never known why it's so weak. Because the Canadian economy is typically strong. Like, we didn't go through a housing crash like the US did. And even then, the US dollar was higher than the Canadian dollar. But I really don't know. I wish I did. Yeah. Yeah, it is interesting in its consistency. There was only one period of time where the Canadian dollar that I remember was stronger than the US dollar, and that was in the early 2010s. This is one time I really loved going to US cons because it was actually cheaper than anything. I feel better. It has always been that way. We were 1-1 really back. Yeah, see, that's the time I love going to cons in the US because, like I said, it was cheaper. It was so rare. But for most of my life, it's been like 30, I guess you could say about 30% lower than the US dollar at a minimum. Yeah, but even that, with the tariffs, like, what is that going to do to, say, air travel between our countries? Well, with a threat of them already, and the other things that the current president has said, um, I believe tourism from Canada is already down at least 1 to 2%. I'm gonna say it's gonna have an effect on it. It might have a large effect on it because there's a lot of Canadians that have considered not going to the U.S. because of Trump doing tariffs, and no one's happy about that here. Personally, I'm more displeased right now that the Canadian government has put tariffs in place because it means anything that we buy from the US is also 25% higher. And that goes into the Canadian coffers. It is. Well, it's been said that the goal of Trump is to try to annex Canada. That's why he keeps calling it the 51st state. That's why he calls Premier or uh, Prime Minister Trudeau, Governor Trudeau. He. That's really what he wants. I feel. So the only way to do is try to crash the country. As I've said to Arctic, there are some things that just make that unlikely. One, Canadians won't like it, so they will refuse to do it. Two, um, if any military, say military action was to take place, um, for all intents and purposes, our head of state will have to declare war on them, which means that the UK will have to declare war. Which there's a tumble effect there, which would not be good for the US. It wouldn't be good for us to begin with, but eventually it wouldn't be good for the US. It's the same thing with Greenland too, if military action was taken there. But yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, you're probably right about that too. Um, though on that front, I liked what our government did, which I think it was $5 billion from the proceeds of assets in Canada that were seized from the Russian government was given to the Ukraine to help them fight the war. Plus some military equipment as well, and some training on that military equipment. But still, you're right. It's been a long, prolonged war. Yeah, I don't think. But then again, who knows anymore? Yes, Raja, you're bapping my hand. Does that mean you want food? Of course it does. He hasn't been fed for 10,000 years, right? Isn't that why you're hovering around looking for food? You haven't been fed in 10,000 years? Okay, so it's still doing the blender thing. I'm going to take a couple minutes. I can throw on another curse break. I'm just going to get food ready for Raja. So I'll be back. Come on, let's go, Raja. Okay. Yeah. Here you go. Here's your food. Sorry that took longer than expected. No, well, you weren't distracting me. I'm trying to get every time I've gone to do something in Blender, it's taken a couple minutes to actually just do something. It's a bit of a pain. So the worst part about this is doing the testing, which is also taking me a while. Okay, so that's uploaded. Good. Means I can go over to Vignon here. Load avatar. Yeah, it's fairly cheap. Well, actually, it's really cheap compared to what I would have bought back in the late 90s and early 2000s. Okay, let's see what happens with the avatar. One. Oh, here we go. Oh, now my now the strings are inside. Okay, so the strings are inside. Wonderful. If I pull back far enough, yeah. Oh, and it's not moving either. Okay. Nothing went wrong there. Okay. Well, wait, no, I didn't want to do that yet. I wanted to see how bad the mouth was. It doesn't look quite so bad. But let's see if I can. Oh no, it's so bad. Oh geez. Let's do that. um. Oh, okay. See, Rapid, this is what I mean. Now it's not responding. I have to wait for it to respond before I can do anything. Oh my god. I That's gotta be for servers? Because I can't imagine a desktop PC having 8 slots in it and then being able to support 1 terabyte. Okay. Okay, workstations, that's fair. That's fair. I would do something like Redis, which is an in-memory database. Yeah. Yeah, it would be. It definitely would be. Which reminds me, I still have to figure out exactly why MariaDB on Arctic's computer keeps stopping during startup, and it has something to do with the TC log. Have I heard of CockroachDB? No, no, I haven't.
In chat, we're gonna do half. Paper. Honestly, I didn't know this much of a difference.
Looking into it, it's a distributed SQL database made for clustering across geographical regions. Well, for large installations like that, that definitely makes sense. Truthfully, most of my stuff is either on one computer or two computers. And like, I mean, by my stuff, I mean even the stuff I do at work. A very small company. True. Yeah, that is true. It just obviously won't be as fast or as powerful. I do want to build an SQL cluster from scratch, or just do I want to run an SQL cluster from scratch, or just run a container? So I've always felt containers like Kubernetes, Docker, and stuff like that are great ways to tinker with stuff before you build out what you really want. And even then, like if you find it's the perfect solution, you can then run it to, know, bigger iron, as it were, to run it. Stuff that's more resilient if you need it. Really, I just wanted to clear the center bone. And it's doing this. You like Docker? You use Docker a lot? I used to use Docker a lot too. When I had a little VR or VM on the internet, I would use Docker to put stuff on. Now, not I haven't been paying much attention to stuff like that. The only thing I've come across recently is, while he does have certificates until May, I was doing an update on Let's Encrypt, um, and because I used DNS for that, it didn't work for his domain. So you got Raspberry Pi configured with Docker to run a managed WordPress app that runs. It doesn't do the SSL for the mail server Rapid. Which I use Let's Encrypt for on through cPanel. So it has to update the DNS records with text records with the challenge authentication. And since DNS is proxied or whatever you've done with Cloudflare, yeah, it doesn't pull through. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we can. I haven't thought about it too much. Like I said, I have until May. Actually, I think it's May 14th. No, so good. There's also some auxiliary subdomains related to automatic configuration. You know how like Outlook does for Exchange. So, it's all kind of included in that. It was a little frustrating when I was trying to update, but like fuck. Oh well. Okay. And then I truthfully kind of forgot about it. Like I said, we have to May.
Just an explosion behind me.
Yeah, that's fair. Fair. A lot of people even use it just because it's easier. Okay, so good. They might be short streams, but one of the things I'm been recently thinking about is trying to force myself to do some VR fitness apps. So I'm kind of thinking of possibly doing some Beat Saber. I don't know if anyone would be interested in that. I don't know if you'd be interested in that. Rapid. But yeah, I have Beat Saber. I have Synth Riders, which, I also have Power Beats VR, which is more of a workout because you gotta crouch and stuff like that. Uh, Power Beast VR is the one that I found that I liked the best when I was looking for them back a few years ago. I'm sure there's more now, but Ragnarok is a good one, but it gets kind of stale quickly, and their custom request system isn't quite where Beat Sabers is yet. I don't think there's been anyone that's really put a big thing into that. Well, I'm trying to keep to Steam VR for stuff like that, just because I don't. While I have a Meta headset, I have the Quest 2. I don't want to invest in the metaverse, as it were, or any more than I have to. But yeah, Meta did invest into fitness apps. They also had a Meta like data fitness holding app or something like that. I never really. You're back. Okay. So yeah, as I was saying, the Meta built a app that held fitness data, but I just recently got notification that they're going to be sunsetting that application. So I don't know where they are at all with their fitness stuff. I know that there's a few apps out there. I know some are better than others, but what I have is like Power Beats VR, Beat Saber, which is pretty much a popular one, I guess. I have, like I said, Synth Riders, which, while it doesn't seem as good as Beat Saber for like moving around and stuff like that, it has more variety in maps. There's also what the why am I I'm positing okay. Hey, say the incremental. The take is the Beat Saber is kind of a mixed bag. Generally, you end up picking viewer suggestions, and then some are just silly. Yeah, like Praise Juan. I used to throw that at streamers, and it's like 30 seconds long. I truthfully, taking requests from viewers is kind of nice in a way. Because if you do a specific songs as a routine and you just keep doing the same routine over and over again, you're not adding variety of movement in, which isn't a big thing when you start off. But over time, it can be. I like the idea of having that variety, but then again, I also like Ragnarok, and as I said, its viewer request system is very much in the infant stage, even though it's been out for years now. And by the same token, the really neat one is Power Beats VR because it doesn't come with songs. It comes with songs, but basically they encourage you to add your own song, and it generates a map based on the song. So that's an interesting one. Something's to be said for choosing songs slightly above your level and just continually running them and learning them, advancing in difficulty. Yeah, that is true. I ran through forget which Godzilla song it was, but I used to run through this one Godzilla song, and I got so good at one difficulty level that I was pissed if I didn't have a perfect score, or at least if I didn't get like a perfect combo, if not a perfect score, because I've never gotten a perfect score, truth be told. But it's been a while now, so it'd be all starting from scratch. Arctic says he's been wanting to get back into Beat Saber as well. So, like viewers are random, consistent best, where you can choose specific songs that challenge you and get better at them. Yeah, there's also the fact that with Beat Saber you have multiplayer. If you get like 3 streamers, because it used to be like Nachos, Arctic used to do it together all the time, and I joined them a couple times. We both had our own queue, and when we could switch between queues, and they always had songs in their queues. I didn't always have songs, so you know, uh, we could just go between them. So the only thing I didn't like about multiplayer is you couldn't select your own difficulty level. You had to go with whatever difficulty level the person that was choosing the map used. That there that ended up being kind of annoying at times because they were at such a level higher than me that they would be on expert or expert plus, and I'm like, guys, I might be able to do this at medium, or I think it was called hard. And then and then halfway through the song, because there's so many notes, you just give up. So, and unfortunately, that's another problem. Really, I clicked in and out of one field. Hmm. Ah, why? I guess what I'm saying is, if you want to do it specifically for fitness purposes, multiplayer isn't the best route. Multiplayer is more like a party that you can actually organize when you can actually organize everything together. So those solo streams are where you put in the work. Yeah, that's true. That's true too. Also, this is the first time I've looked at my avatar in Vinyan, and I'm actually seeing shadows from the rings and stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of neat. I totally don't get distracted. Totally don't. But Blender is going to like age me 5 more years if this keeps happening. Um, yeah, yeah, I know sometimes it gets to be a bit much. Um, he's had lots of practice over the years. Uh, when you, I imagine he learned quite a bit of how to focus on something while he was in the army, because you get a task and you have to complete that task. He used to have um, a saying, you know, about how you know, the job has to get done basically. But it's yeah, yeah. Oh my God, Rapid. Sometimes that's the best ones. Sometimes those are the best ones. Ooh. That's pretty much what's happening here. I'm kind of at the end of my rope because of that right now. So thank you so very much for the RAM. I really do feel that it's gonna help. I really feel that's going to help a lot. Wolf, thank you for the 25 bits. Yeah, I was gonna stream longer, but this is not fun. I was just looking to see who may or might not be available right now. But yeah, with it doing this, I'm just like, as you can see, Blunder is having fun right now. And I couldn't even get the face tracking to work on the D Otter. All the blend shapes are there. Everything's there. I even tried a version with it, with all the meshes joined together, so it was just one mesh. Yeah, it just didn't work. I didn't even do anything. Why are you not responding again? Dyer's had that a little while, Rapid. This is sleepy emote. Sorry, eepy. Since no one says sleepy or sleep anymore, it's all about eep. All about the eep. Don't need that completely wholesome with no ill intent because I'm going to laugh really hard. Who are you having concern about, Wolf? Yourself or Rapid? Oh, um, um, it was purchased as a EP emote. Oh, well then. Now where is it? Ah, here it is. So when I was doing MMDs and posting them on YouTube, I made an MMD of my original design of my otter. And I left the femboy stuff on him, or at least the skirt and the collar. I didn't realize the collar was anything other than just a fancy collar. There's the URL in case you ever want to take a look at that music video, which is a version of Shake It from, or at least not the Shake It we usually assume the one from Japan. Yeah, Wolf, I had no idea there was anything other than just a collar. I thought it was fancy. I guess furry artists are just a little uwu secretly with every request. Hmm. I don't know. Heck, I don't even understand why everyone's drooling over Arctic's updated winter paw. And again, I was considering doing my avatar as a winter paw again as well. Yeah, I had no, I have no clue. Uh huh. Here. I, so is this weird to say that I like putting 6 pack on characters because it looks aesthetically pleasing, but beyond that, it doesn't mean much to me at all? Also, I wouldn't mind having some myself. You like the flat tummy of the otters? That's fair. Like, this used to be my free count. That's fair, Rapid. And yes, I'm still waiting for the blender to pull up. So let's see what else I have here. Oh, actually, right. I know. People have different ideas of what they consider ideal. Like eventually, I'm taking this and I'm making it into one of my other personas. I do have a couple. Though for some reason the right leg looks extremely huge here. I don't know why. Also, this is the new. This is a work in progress of the new Julia Winterpaw, and I can't wait to see it. The Winterpaw cat. Also, Wolf, are you coming to MFF this upcoming year? If you're still there? Also, you don't know? Okay, if you do, I will have the That's fair. So the sip emote and the high emote. So it considers to be pleasing in terms of, say, Thor or Hercules or Spider-Man. Places we expect strength and dominance. That's why I said Daddy. However, I think there is absolutely something aesthetic pleasing about a character, especially a furry one that's just average and focuses more on the cute. And it wouldn't give me any sexy thoughts. So, like, take a small bundle, throw a six pack on, suddenly sexy. Okay. Yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong or anything like that. Like, it is everyone's interpretation. I've had this one character for years. I want to get him sorted, and the two main pieces of art I have is this one. The other thing is, it's a very human thing. We can agree on that. Pushing the balance a little more towards humanoid and less furry. Yeah. So yeah, that's that's the other persona I have. So there's like that artwork, and then there's this artwork. So that's what I'm trying to approach. Of course, I would also like to kind of be like that, but that's besides the point. I think in this case, we're gonna close this because it's not worked out well. Oh, and I found some art of. I mean, those are incredibly high. Yeah. Thank you, Rapid. Oh God, I got some brat pictures in here, or a brat picture in here of my character. So the the Blender file had this as a pose in it for this avatar, the Doozer. I put the tongues. I stuck out the tongue for the picture, but still. As to when I will be playing Outer Wilds again, that will be on Sunday. So if I don't get distracted at first thing in the morning or anything like that, I'll be starting at noon. I'm starting up on some antibody medication again. I truthfully should have started 3 months ago. But how do I say this? I just kept forgetting about it. Plus, it's time consuming. Takes about half an hour at the very least to prep, and it takes an hour to administer. So yeah. But that Outer Wilds will be on Sunday. It'll be Sunday afternoon Eastern Standard Time. So it should be around noon. If not, it will start at 1 at the latest. Because I'm not pushing it back. I really want to see what's going on. I want to figure things out. I know there's an event that happens every 22 minutes, but I don't know the specifics of the event or anything I can do with it. Yeah. I'm excited to play this comfy game that is full of mystery. And one that I don't have someone pushing me down the road to get to the next major point, major achievement. It's been fun. And I can't wait to continue. I can tell it's loaded. It's done well. And I wish more games had storytelling like that. But obviously not specifically that, because games have to be their own unique thing. But, that tension, that care, that kind of, and I understand that there are like types of, games and stuff that doesn't quite allow that. And I just realized I've been doing this entire stream with all of my rewards disabled because I had them disabled for Outer Wilds. Let's end Timmy Trumpet, though, because I think I am going to raid out. So we're going to put up the ending screen. And I want to thank everyone for being here. And it's really appreciated, especially with the Blender issues. Hopefully they get resolved very quickly. But even so, I appreciate you all being here. Tomorrow at noon, we are doing a group game. I'm guessing it's going to be Killing Floor 2 because Arctic's been wanting to play that. With Killing Floor 3 coming out soon. So we might do that. But that'll be noon to 5 Eastern, roughly. Then on Sunday, as I was saying, Outer Wilds from roughly noon to... Well, I say 5, but it might run later. Also remember, I'm going to promote Arctic here. Remember that Arctic is starting his subathon on Saturday, where he'll be running for 12 hours a day until the timer runs out. His birthday is on Sunday, so that's the day to give him lots and lots of love, especially since he has a ton of Bean Boozled. Well, enough Bean Boozled. And just like me, I believe it's 5 subs, and he'll have one, and it'll be very random. So there's that. So, yeah. Just to prep for that, though, go follow Arctic. And I'll help facilitate that by let's spreading out to him. So, thank you all. I really appreciate it. Have a good night. And hopefully I'll see you at noon tomorrow. Eastern time, by the way. Eastern time. Bye. Thank you, Rapid. Bye.